Move the cart now." The young man didn't lower his voice. He didn't care who heard. He stood right there on the sidewalk, blocking customers, pointing at the old metal cart like it was trash that needed to be cleared away. Evelyn Moore was 62 years old. She was behind that cart, her hands smelling of oil and salt, doing what she'd done every Friday for over 10 years, selling fries. Same corner, same routine. That cart paid the bills. That cart kept the lights on. That cart mattered. She tried to speak, but nothing came out at first. "I got permission to be here," she finally said, quiet, careful. "I've always been here." The young man smirked. He glanced at his red sports car parked half on the curb, half on the street, like the rules didn't apply to him. "You're making the area look bad," he said. "This isn't your corner anymore." People walked past them. Some slowed down. Most didn't stop. No one said a word. Evelyn looked around, hoping someone might back her up. A regular customer, another vendor, anyone. But eyes dropped. Steps picked up. Silence settled in heavy and thick. The young man leaned closer. "My father's a congressman," he said, like it explained everything. "You don't want problems." Evelyn felt her chest tighten. She didn't argue. She didn't yell. She just stood there, gripping the edge of the cart, feeling very small all of a sudden. Then he said it. "Pack it up, or next time it won't just be words." That was the moment everything changed, because when Evelyn finally pushed the cart away from that corner, leaving behind the spot she'd worked for years, someone else was going to hear about it, and that person wasn't going to stay quiet. "I apologize for the confusion. Let me start over and write the complete narrative in American English as specified in the instructions." Rachel had been away for 3 weeks. The corporate fraud case in Chicago required her full attention, sitting in federal court day after day, reviewing documents until late at night. She was a federal judge and the work came first. It always had. When she finally flew back on Friday evening, she went straight home to the small house she shared with her mother in the older part of town. Evelyn was in the living room when Rachel walked in. The TV was on, but her mother wasn't watching it. She was just sitting there staring at nothing. "Mom, you okay?" Evelyn turned slowly. "I'm fine, honey. How was the trip?" Rachel dropped her bag by the door. "Long. Where's the cart? I thought Friday was your big day." Evelyn looked away. "I took a break this week." Rachel sat down next to her. She knew that tone. It was the tone her mother used when something was wrong, but she didn't want to talk about it. "Mom, what happened?" "Nothing happened." "Don't lie to me." Evelyn stayed quiet for a long time. Then she let out a slow breath. "Some kid gave me trouble at the corner, that's all." Rachel felt her chest tighten. "What kind of trouble?" "Just words. He told me to leave. Said I was making the place look bad." "Did he touch you?" "No, he just talked, but he meant it." Rachel leaned forward. "Who was he?" Evelyn shook her head. "I don't know. Some rich kid in a red sports car. He said his father was Congressman Bennett." Rachel went still. She knew that name. Everyone in the city knew that name. Harold Bennett had been in Congress for 16 years. He controlled appointments, influenced contracts, and had connections that reached into every corner of city government. "Did anyone see this?" "A few people. They just kept walking." Rachel stood up. "Mum, you need to file a report." Evelyn looked up at her daughter with tired eyes. "A report? For what? He didn't hit me, he didn't break anything, he just told me to move." "He threatened you. He used his father's name to intimidate you off a public street. And who's going to care, Rachel? People like us don't mess with people like them. You know that." Rachel wanted to argue, but the truth was sitting right there between them. Her mother was right. That's how it worked, that's how it had always worked. On Monday morning, Rachel went back to the courthouse. She had 3 hearings scheduled and a stack of motions waiting on her desk. But she couldn't focus. Every time she tried to read a filing, she saw her mother standing behind that cart, alone, while some kid in a Ferrari told her she didn't belong. During lunch, she called a friend at the city prosecutor's office. "Tom, you know anything about Harold Bennett's son?" "Not much. Why?" "Just asking." Tom paused. "Rachel, if you're thinking about going after the congressman's kid, you need to be careful. That family doesn't play fair." "I'm not going after anyone. I'm just asking." She hung up and sat there for a while, staring at the wall. Then she grabbed her coat and drove to the corner where her mother used to work. The cart wasn't there. In its place, a black SUV was parked halfway onto the sidewalk. No one seemed to care. Tuesday came and went. Evelyn didn't go back to the corner. Rachel didn't push her. Wednesday morning, Rachel was at her desk when her clerk knocked on the door. "Judge Moore, there's a call for you. State Prosecutor's Office." Rachel picked up. "This is Judge Moore." "Judge, this is Prosecutor Ellen Hayes. I need to talk to you about something that might involve your jurisdiction." "Go ahead." "We're looking into irregularities with city vendor permits. There's evidence that some licenses were revoked or threatened due to political pressure. Congressman Bennett's name has come up more than once." Rachel felt her stomach drop. "What does that have to do with me?" "Nothing yet. But we're going to need to interview witnesses. One of them might be your mother." Rachel didn't say anything for a moment. "How do you know my mother is involved?" "Because Bennett's son was seen last week harassing a food vendor. We have 2 witnesses who saw it happen. One of them gave us the victim's name, Evelyn Moore." Rachel set the phone down slowly after the call ended. She sat there for a long time looking out the window at the city below. Everything looked normal. Cars, people, buildings. But something had shifted. On Thursday, Rachel went to the prosecutor's office. Ellen Hayes met her in a small conference room with files spread across the table. "Thanks for coming, Judge. I shouldn't be here. If there's an investigation involving my mother, I can't be part of it. I know I'm not asking you to be. I just wanted to let you know this is bigger than one incident. It's not just about Bennett's son scaring vendors. It's about a system." Rachel sat down. "What kind of system?" Ellen opened a folder. "Congressman Bennett has informal control over a lot of city enforcement. He recommends people for jobs, protects his allies, pressures anyone who gets in the way. Street vendors are easy targets. If someone complains, they lose their permit. If they keep complaining, they lose their spot. If they still don't stop, a fine shows up out of nowhere." "And his son?" "He's the muscle. He shows up, makes threats, uses his father's name. Most victims don't report it." Rachel crossed her arms. "Do you have proof?" "I have 3 witnesses willing to testify. I have phone records between the congressman's office and city enforcement. And I have a video." Rachel looked up. "A video?" Ellen turned her laptop around. On the screen, shaky footage showed a red Ferrari parked in front of a small cart. The audio was poor, but you could hear the young man's voice. You could see Evelyn looking down at the ground. You could see the humiliation. Rachel watched without blinking. When it ended, Ellen closed the laptop. "A college student recorded this. He didn't want to be identified, but he sent me the file anonymously. I can't use it as primary evidence, but it backs up everything else." Rachel took a breath. "What are you going to do now?" "I'm going to interview the witnesses. I'm going to request phone records. And I'm going to open a formal inquiry into the congressman and his son." Rachel was quiet. "You know he's going to come after you." "I know. And you're doing it anyway?" Ellen closed the folder. "If I don't, who will?" Rachel left the building with a heavy feeling in her chest. She went back to her office, cancelled her afternoon appointments, and sat alone. She had 2 choices. She could encourage her mother to testify and help build the case, or she could tell her mother to stay quiet and protect herself. Both choices had a cost. That night, Rachel came home and found Evelyn in the kitchen making soup. Her mother didn't look up. "Mom, the prosecutor wants to talk to you." Evelyn stopped stirring. "I know." "How do you know?" "Because Ellen called me this morning." Rachel pulled out a chair and sat. "What did you tell her?" "I told her I'd think about it." "Mom, you need to speak up. This isn't just about you. There are other people being threatened the same way." Evelyn turned off the stove. "Rachel, I spent my whole life avoiding trouble. I raised you by myself, no drama, no noise. Now you want me to go testify against a congressman's son. I want you to do what's right." Evelyn turned to face her daughter. "What's right? Right for who? For me, so I can become a target? For you, so your career gets destroyed if this turns into a scandal?" Rachel looked down. "I'm not going to lose anything, Mom. I'll step away from the case. I'll do everything properly." Evelyn sat down across from her. "And you think that'll matter?" You think people won't say the federal judge used her position to go after the congressman because he messed with her mother? Rachel didn't answer, because her mother was right. On Friday, Rachel made it official. She sent a letter to the chief judge explaining the conflict of interest and requesting that any case involving Harold Bennett or his son be reassigned. The response came the same day. Her request was approved without question. Rachel felt a small sense of relief, but she also knew she had just put a target on her back. Saturday morning, Evelyn woke up early and set up the cart. Rachel tried to go with her, but her mother wouldn't allow it. "I need to go back alone, honey. If you come with me, it'll look like I'm making this into some kind of show." Rachel watched her mother leave with the cart. She stayed home, pacing back and forth. At 9 in the morning, the phone rang. It was Evelyn. "Rachel, he's here." "Who?" "The congressman's son. He came back." Rachel felt her blood run cold. "What's he doing?" "He's standing across the street staring at me. He hasn't said anything yet." "Mom, leave right now." "I'm not leaving. I came back to stay." Rachel hung up and ran. She grabbed her car keys and drove straight to the corner. When she arrived, she saw the red Ferrari parked across the street. The young man was leaning against the hood, arms crossed. Evelyn was behind the cart, standing firm, but her hands were shaking. Rachel parked and got out. Bennett's son looked at her and smiled. Well, the judge decided to show up." Rachel didn't respond. She walked straight to her mother. "Mom, let's go." "I'm not going." The young man crossed the street. "How sweet. Daughter came to protect Mommy." Rachel turned to him. "You can leave now or you can wait for the police. Your choice." He took a step closer. "Police? You think I'm scared of the police? My dad has lunch with the chief every week." Rachel pulled out her phone and dialed. "Yes, I need a patrol car at the corner of Main and Commercial. There's a man harassing a street vendor." The young man laughed. "Harassing? I didn't touch her." "You don't have to. Intimidation is enough." He stood there smiling until he heard the siren in the distance. Then he got back in his car, started the engine, and drove off slowly, making sure they saw him leave. The patrol car arrived 2 minutes later. 2 officers got out. Rachel explained what happened. One of them wrote it down. The other one looked uncomfortable. "Mom, if he didn't threaten her directly, there's not much we can do. He came here to intimidate her. That's enough." The officer glanced at his partner. "We'll file a report, but without a direct threat or physical contact, it's hard to make anything stick." Rachel knew what that meant. It meant nothing would happen. The officers left. Evelyn started packing up the cart. "Mom, what are you doing?" "Going home." "You can't let him win." Evelyn looked at her daughter. "He already won, Rachel. He won the second he showed up." They drove home in silence. That night, Rachel couldn't sleep. She lay in bed staring at the ceiling, thinking about everything her mother had sacrificed to raise her. Evelyn had worked that cart for over a decade, saving every dollar, never complaining. And now some spoiled kid with a rich father had taken that away from her in less than 5 minutes. On Sunday morning, Rachel made a decision. She called Ellen Hayes. "Ellen, it's Rachel Moore. I need to tell you something." "Go ahead." "I'm recusing myself from anything involving this case officially, but I want you to know that my mother is willing to testify." There was a pause. "Did you talk to her?" "Not yet, but I will." Rachel hung up and went to find her mother. Evelyn was in the backyard, sitting on the old bench near the fence. "Mom, I need to ask you something." Evelyn didn't look up. "I already know what you're going to say." "Then you know I think you should testify. And you know I don't want to." Rachel sat down next to her. "I'm not asking you to do this for me. I'm asking you to do it for everyone else who's too scared to speak up." Evelyn finally turned to look at her. "What if I testify and nothing happens? What if the congressman protects his son and I end up with nothing but trouble?" "Then at least you tried. At least you didn't let him win without a fight." Evelyn was quiet for a long time. Then she nodded. "Okay, I'll do it." On Monday, Ellen Hayes called Evelyn in for an interview. Rachel didn't go. She stayed at the courthouse, working through her cases, trying not to think about what her mother was doing across town. At 3 in the afternoon, her phone buzzed. It was a text from Evelyn. "I told them everything." Rachel felt a weight lift, but also a new one settle in. Now there was no going back. The inquiry moved fast. By Wednesday, Ellen had interviewed all 3 witnesses. By Friday, she had phone records showing multiple calls between Congressman Bennett's office and the head of city enforcement. By the following Monday, she had enough to request a formal investigation. The news broke on Tuesday morning. The headline read, "Congressman Bennett under investigation for vendor intimidation scheme." Rachel saw it on her phone before she even got out of bed. Her mother saw it too. "Rachel, they're going to come after us now." "I know, Mom. Are you ready for that?" Rachel wasn't sure, but she said yes anyway. The first call came that afternoon. It was a reporter from the local paper. "Judge Moore, can you comment on the investigation into Congressman Bennett?" No comment. "Is it true your mother is one of the witnesses?" No comment. She hung up. The calls kept coming. By the end of the day, there were 6 voicemails and a dozen emails. Rachel ignored all of them. On Wednesday, the congressman held a press conference. Rachel watched it on the news. Harold Bennett stood at a podium, looking calm and confident. "These accusations are completely false. My family has always supported small businesses in this city. This is a political attack disguised as an investigation." A reporter raised her hand. "Congressman, is it true your son was involved in multiple incidents with street vendors?" "My son is a private citizen. I will not comment on baseless rumors." Rachel turned off the TV. She knew this was just the beginning. On Thursday, Ellen called. "Rachel, I need to let you know something. The congressman's lawyers filed a motion to dismiss the investigation. They're claiming prosecutorial bias." "On what grounds?" "They're saying I'm targeting him because of my friendship with you." Rachel felt her stomach turn. "We're not friends. We barely know each other." "I know that, but they're going to try to make it look like a conspiracy. What do we do?" "We keep going. We have the evidence. We have the witnesses. If we stop now, he wins." Rachel hung up and sat at her desk for a long time. She thought about calling her mother, but she didn't know what to say. That night, Rachel came home to find Evelyn sitting in the dark. "Mom, why are the lights off?" "I don't want anyone to see me." Rachel turned on the lamp. "No one's watching you." "They came by today." Rachel froze. "Who came by?" "2 men. They knocked on the door and said they wanted to talk. I didn't answer, but I saw them through the window. They left a card." Evelyn handed her a business card. It was from a law firm. Rachel recognized the name. It was one of the biggest firms in the state. "They're trying to scare you. It's working." Rachel sat down next to her mother. "Mom, listen to me. They can't hurt you. You told the truth. That's all you did. The truth doesn't protect people like us, Rachel. You know that." Rachel wanted to argue, but she couldn't, because part of her knew her mother was right. On Friday, the motion to dismiss was denied. The judge assigned to the case ruled that there was sufficient evidence to continue the investigation. The congressman's lawyers immediately filed an appeal. Ellen called Rachel to give her the update. "We're moving forward, but it's going to get uglier." "How much uglier?" "They're going to come after your mother's credibility. They're going to dig into her past, look for anything they can use. There's nothing to find. Doesn't matter, they'll try anyway." Rachel hung up and felt a wave of anger wash over her. This wasn't about justice anymore. This was about power, and power always fought back. On Saturday, a news article appeared online. The headline read, "Witness in Bennett case has history of permit violations." Rachel read it 3 times, her hands shaking. The article claimed that Evelyn had been cited twice in the past 5 years for operating her cart outside of designated hours. Both citations had been dismissed, but the article made it sound like she was a repeat offender. Rachel called Ellen immediately. "Did you see the article?" "I saw it. It's garbage." "They're trying to destroy her." "I know, but it won't work. The citations were minor and they were dismissed. No judge is going to care." But Rachel cared, because she knew how this worked. It didn't matter if the accusations were true. All that mattered was that they were out there poisoning the well. On Sunday, Evelyn didn't get out of bed. Rachel brought her coffee and toast, but her mother didn't touch it. "Mom, you have to eat." "I'm not hungry. You can't let them do this to you." Evelyn finally looked at her. "They already did it, Rachel. My name is in the paper." Everyone thinks I'm a liar. No one thinks that. Yes, they do, and even if they don't, they will. That's how this works. Rachel sat on the edge of the bed. Mom, I need you to stay strong just a little longer. How much longer? I don't know. Evelyn turned away. Then wake me up when it's over. Rachel left the room and went to her own. She sat on the floor with her back against the wall and let herself cry for the first time since this whole thing started. On Monday, Ellen filed a response to the Congressman's appeal. In it, she included copies of the dismissal orders for Evelyn's citations, along with affidavits from 2 other vendors who had been threatened by Bennett's son. The response was 30 pages long and laid out a clear pattern of intimidation and abuse of power. The appeal was denied on Wednesday. The investigation would continue. On Thursday, Rachel received a call from the chief judge. Rachel, I need to talk to you. About what? About your involvement in the Bennett case. Rachel felt her chest tighten. I'm not involved. I recused myself. I know. But the Congressman's lawyers are claiming that your recusal wasn't enough. They're saying you should have reported the conflict sooner. I reported it as soon as I knew there was an investigation. I believe you. But they're making noise and I need to make sure everything is clean. What do you want me to do? Nothing, just be careful. Don't talk to the press, don't talk to the prosecutor. Keep your distance. Rachel hung up and felt the walls closing in. She was doing everything right, but it didn't matter. They were still coming after her. On Friday, Ellen called with an update. Rachel, we got a break. One of Bennett's aides agreed to cooperate. What did he say? He confirmed that the Congressman personally called the head of city enforcement to pressure vendors who didn't support his campaigns. He has emails. He has voicemails. He has everything. Rachel felt a flicker of hope. Is it enough? It's enough to move forward with charges. On Monday morning, the news broke. Congressman Bennett faces federal charges in vendor intimidation scheme. The article detailed the phone records, the witness statements, and the aide's testimony. It was front-page news. Rachel didn't go to work that day. She stayed home with her mother, watching the coverage on TV. Evelyn didn't say much. She just sat there holding a cup of tea that had gone cold. Mom, are you okay? I don't know. You did the right thing. Did I? Rachel didn't have an answer. On Tuesday, the Congressman's son was arrested. Rachel saw the footage on the news. He was led out of his apartment in handcuffs, looking angry and confused. The charges included intimidation, harassment, and conspiracy to violate civil rights. On Wednesday, the Congressman resigned. He gave a short statement outside his office, claiming he was stepping down to focus on his family. He didn't apologize. He didn't admit wrongdoing. He just left. On Thursday, Ellen called. It's over, Rachel. The case is moving to trial. What about my mom? She'll have to testify, but the worst part is behind her. Rachel wasn't so sure. On Friday, Rachel went back to work. Her colleagues didn't say much, but she could feel them watching her. At lunch, one of the other judges stopped by her office. Rachel, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for what you've been through. Thanks. For what it's worth, I think you did the right thing. Rachel nodded, but she didn't feel like she had done anything. She had just watched while her mother suffered, and the system slowly, painfully did its job. That weekend, Evelyn set up the cart again. Rachel offered to go with her, but her mother said no. I need to do this alone. Rachel watched from a distance as her mother worked. A few customers stopped by. One of them, an older man in a suit, shook Evelyn's hand and said something Rachel couldn't hear. Evelyn smiled. It was the first real smile Rachel had seen in weeks. When Evelyn came home that night, she looked exhausted but lighter somehow. How was it? It was okay. Just okay? People were nice. A few of them said they were proud of me. Rachel felt her eyes sting. I'm proud of you too, Mom. Evelyn set her bag down. I know, honey, but I'm tired. I'm really tired. I know. And I don't know if it was worth it. Rachel wanted to tell her it was. She wanted to say that justice had been served, that the right thing had happened, that it all mattered. But the truth was more complicated than that. On Monday, the trial began. Rachel didn't attend. She followed the coverage in the news. The prosecution presented the phone records, the witness testimony, and the aide's emails. The defense argued that the congressman had simply been doing his job, that any pressure was routine political maneuvering. The trial lasted 2 weeks. The jury deliberated for 3 days. On a Thursday afternoon, they returned a verdict. Guilty on all counts. Rachel was in her office when the news came through. She called her mother immediately. "Mom, they found him guilty." There was a long silence. "Okay, that's it, just okay? What do you want me to say, Rachel, that I'm happy? I'm not. I'm just relieved it's over." Rachel understood. Justice didn't feel like victory. It just felt like the end of something hard. 2 weeks later, the congressman was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison. His son received 18 months. The head of city enforcement was fired and faced his own charges. The mayor announced a full review of the vendor permit system. Rachel read about it all in the paper. She didn't feel triumph. She didn't feel vindication. She just felt tired. One Saturday morning, a month after the sentencing, Rachel drove to the corner where her mother worked. The cart was there, the smell of frying potatoes in the air. Evelyn was serving a customer, a young woman with a baby in a stroller. Rachel parked and walked over. "Hey, Mom." Evelyn looked up and smiled. "Hey, honey, you want some fries?" "Sure." Evelyn made her a small bag, extra salt, just the way Rachel liked it. They stood there together, not saying much, just being present. Across the street, a man in a suit walked by, saw the cart and crossed over to order. Then another customer, then another. The city kept moving. The corner was still there, and so was Evelyn. That night, Rachel and her mother sat at the kitchen table, eating leftovers and watching the news. A new scandal was breaking, something about a real estate deal in another part of the state. The cycle continued. Evelyn turned off the TV. "Rachel, can I ask you something?" "Of course, do you think it mattered, what we did?" Rachel thought about it for a long time. "I think it mattered to the other vendors who won't be threatened anymore. I think it mattered to the system, even if the system doesn't want to admit it. And I think it mattered to you, because you didn't let them make you disappear." Evelyn nodded slowly. "It cost a lot, though." "It did." "Was it worth it?" Rachel reached across the table and took her mother's hand. "I think so, but only you can answer that." Evelyn squeezed her daughter's hand. "Then I guess it was." They sat there in the quiet kitchen, two women who had faced power and survived it, not unscathed, but still standing. The fight had been long and ugly. The victory was small and complicated, but they had done what needed to be done, and that was something. When silence protects abuse, telling the story is already justice.